The opportunity to reconnect with the waterfront, I think, has both a practical economic benefit to the city as a whole. It also has a kind of spiritual one. It's no accident that other cities are looking at the exact same thing in terms of redeveloping their waterfronts and making them an active part of people's lives.
The DRWC is really excited to show the public the last 9 months of work that was put in by the Hargreaves team. It's shown that the master plan was right, that the idea can work. The master plan came up with a concept for Penn's Landing, which would be to connect Chestnut to Walnut and extend a park down to the river to reconnect Penn's Landing back to Center City.
We made a decision that at every point in the project, whenever we made an investment on the water's edge, we would invest in the connecting street, walk, bridge that brought people from the city to the river easily and back into the city again.
We thought of this as a three-dimensional problem because it really is about I-95, Columbus Boulevard, the connections to the city, the elevation of the city, and the elevation of the river. So we studied it in section, in model, in three-dimensional views, not just plan from day one.
This is a truly open, transparent process, and the plan really belongs to the public. So there's a degree of political will and citizen buy-in that I don't think really existed for a lot of the past plans.
This development is fully integrated into the adjacent city fabric. It takes elements of the adjacent neighborhoods of Queen Village, Society Hill, Old City, Northern Liberties, and it integrates those elements into the Central Delaware as the master plan calls for.
The east side of Broad Street has not been the center of business or the center of residential in the city, and I think that for the first time there'll be a major attraction on this side of town. This will make it so that there's green space. If you enjoy exercise, if you enjoy music or culture, there'll be sculptures, there'll be art. It will really enhance the attractions on this side of town.
The development of the new Penn's Landing Park will create a new space for people to use in new and different ways. With the new park, we'll be able to do a wider variety of events that we can't do currently, and it'll allow people to use the space in ways that they've never been able to use it before.
One of the biggest issues with Penn's Landing right now is that when you are at Front and Chestnut, you should feel like you're at the river and that you've arrived at your destination, but you don't. Front Street is about 30 feet higher than the river, but the bridge over I-95 actually raises you about 6 feet, so there's a hump that keeps you from knowing that the river is there. The engineers realized that by building a brand new cap and using the latest technology, we're able to actually flatten that so that when you're standing at Front and Chestnut Street, you are actually able to see the river and you know therefore that you've arrived at the waterfront.
We had to get into how you structure a cap over I-95 and Columbus Boulevard in such a way that as you slope down and terrace down to the river, you see gardens, an amphitheater, a real kind of variety of spaces and strong connection to the river.
This plan that uses connector streets to connect the neighborhoods to the river is a big plus for the community. We can make it part of the whole neighborhood, which we haven't been able to accomplish in any other plans that were there before.
That connectivity is what will really make the waterfront something that the citizens, the residents, and the visitors to Philadelphia feel that they own and that it's easy to use and to enjoy.
The Penn's Landing study includes both looking at this from a transportation perspective, what do the public spaces look like, and then it also takes a look at the development and how private development could look here and really help to make these public spaces successful.
This project will unlock a significant portion of really underutilized land and underperforming economic location in the city. We believe that the potential for return on the $250 million investment that's contemplated in this plan would be in excess of $1.5 billion.
The private investment in concert with the public infrastructure is going to generate a tremendous amount of jobs. It's going to generate a tremendous amount of real estate revenue, and we think that that's going to just revitalize this total area down here, and I think that's the key.
What's being proposed today is to create the infrastructure that will allow development to occur in an appropriately paced, staged manner. We get an immediate amenity of the park, but then we get the opportunities for development to occur as the absorption rate allows for new development down here.
Being on the water and being at a centrally accessible place is something that's important to any city. It's part of a city's identity, And it really functions as a really diverse place where anyone and everyone, no matter who they are or where they're from or what their situation is, can just come and enjoy.
There's been skepticism in the past about the redevelopment of Penn's Landing. This time, we really want to convey to people that we believe that this project is very doable, it's financeable, it can be built, and it will be built.
This will be by the people, of the people, for the people, and it will bring new investments to the city to increase the reputation, the brand, and the identity of Philadelphia, indeed, around the world.